Time for your first superlative.
Well, I got to go to my old squad. I mean, I got to, right? I mean, matey, yo-ho, the Baker's life for me. That's right, Baker Mayfield. I mean, the Bucs, I mean, what they're doing on offense here as of late, they become, easily the most explosive passing game in the NFC South. But, yeah, I mean, I think the transformation of Todd Bowles wanted to be a defense, running the ball type of football team early on in the year. They realized they're not going to run the ball, so they've gone vice versa and said, we're going to throw the ball, open up the field that way, and then if we can run it, after that because teams are worried about our pass game, that's great. But, man, when they drop back to throw the football, it's for 15 and 20 and 30-yard completions, as you see here. I mean, seams and screens, that's what they do. Attack down the field, get soft coverage, and they are a very good wide receiver screen. I think this is something Tom Brady kind of instilled into the Buccaneers, honestly, him being there. But Chris Godwin, he is kind of the screen guy. But the way that Baker, his arm, throw the ball down the field to Godwin, Mike Evans, Cade Otton can stretch the field a little bit. And then they find a screen game with the receivers and then Rasheed White, the running back, a little too to find him underneath. They got a little something working right now. It's impressive and good for Baker Mayfield. He deserves this. He's been a little screwed over by some of his last stops, and here he is settling in and really carrying this Buccaneers offense right now.
I talked to him last week after they beat the Falcons. He said he wants to stay in Tampa Bay. And, we're in that final few weeks of the season that will determine futures.
Yeah.
And he plays like this. Well, they may have to franchise tag him to keep him around, frankly. You look at all the quarterback-needy teams out there,
Sure.
and Mayfield has reestablished himself. And I'm glad for him, and I also am glad for me because you look at his career arc, and it's really been a career roller coaster.
Right.
2018, pretty damn good. 2019, it was a mess in Cleveland. 2020, he was back. They were on the brink of beating the Chiefs.
Right.
And then 2021, that's when week 2 he messes up his shoulder and he keeps trying to play with a bad shoulder and it all falls apart. And then last year was just I was going to say a really bad word. It was a cluster F.
Goes to the Rams.
Well, they squat on him
there.
in Cleveland.
Yeah,
They're trying to trade
right.
him.
Right.
It's like, let's just part ways.
Give
the whole
him no
Deshaun
options.
Watson thing.
Yeah, they screwed him over in Cleveland.
And he got like a $4.5 million base salary this year. Talk about bargains.
Yeah.
You want to talk value? Somebody was making the argument to me last week that Brock Purdy is more of an MVP than Dak Prescott because Brock Purdy is cheap. It's a greater value. Well, if that's the case, Baker Mayfield's an MVP candidate, and I'm only half kidding. There's 5 names deep on the ballot. He's got to be one of the names right now. What he's doing for that Buccaneers team and putting them in position to win the division, if they win the division, he will be one of my 5.
I won't be mad at you that. If he continues what he's doing right now, I don't know if I'm ready to put him on the ballot quite yet, but it's, he does this 3 more weeks, 300 yards, touchdowns, winning the game because of his big right arm. I hear you. He deserves to be in the conversation.
Quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League have had perfect passer ratings at Lambeau Field.
Wow, 2.
Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
And Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
You may need to come up with a song. I don't know that Yo-Ho, Yo-Ho is good enough. You need something specific to Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so. I'll work on it. But, yeah, I'm good for the Bucs, really. The way they're playing right now, what he's doing, and defense isn't great, but they do have some talent and some playmakers there. This was an exciting game, right? Third quarter, it became a track show. I mean, Jordan Love, the Packers offense was going up and down the football field. They were kind of going back at each other, but, ultimately they couldn't keep pace with the Bucs offense and what they were doing.
And they got something in Rachaad White.
They do.
He's had 4 straight great games, 2 over 100 rushing yards. I think one was right at 100. Yesterday at 89, and he slid 11 yards short of the end zone, and then he got up, and he was going to keep going. Like, he was really conflicted, but once he slid, they said you gave yourself up. Even though he wasn't touched, they wouldn't let him finish. But he wasn't offended by Mayfield saying back in October, we're not a run-first team. And they still might not be, but the run is more dangerous now than it was.
And that's what they did vice versa. So let's throw it. Let's get them off.
Throw to set up the run.
Bit. Now we got some room to run. And then they found ways to throw the ball underneath to him a little bit. And I think that, all those things, like James Cook, right, gives you a little confidence. Oh, there's some space. And all of a sudden you run harder. You start to feel like you're a part of the offense. And, yeah, they got something with White. You're right about that.
All right, first one for me, a win is a win is a win because it wasn't pretty. They covered the spread. We didn't think they would, but the Chiefs went up to New England and handled the Patriots, even though there are still issues with that Chiefs offense. We still saw the dropsies yesterday. We saw little alligator arms.
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
Right? I wonder if when He and Taylor Swift go their separate ways. If and when that happens, the title of the breakup song will be Alligator Arms.
Why? Maybe they're going to stay together.
Maybe they
forever.
will. I don't know. Well, yeah, you never know. Maybe
But
it'll be.
here's the
maybe
play
it'll be
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. He's trying to catch it, cradle, and protect himself. He knows he's going to get hit, but he just cradles just a hair too early to where he doesn't get his hands on the ball all the way. He's worried about getting hit by what the heck's his name there, Duggar, right? But you're right.
But Kelsey's
a
like
big
two
dude.
of him.
Yeah.
Like go ahead and
Take
hit
the
me.
shot. Yeah, but this is like you said, it's the Chiefs right now. It's that. Right?
Tony had one. Chubbs, you got Chubbs. He had one.
Slant over the middle. I mean, plays volleyball with it. Interception, right? He throws a ball down the middle of the field to Blake Bell. Blake Bell, you're not in concrete. You're allowed to actually walk back to catch the ball. He literally was just like, no, arms go longer. The ball got hit, popped in the air.
That was one of the excuses that they were trying to push a few weeks ago, that the receivers are just a few feet off of where they need to be to make the but if it's still, you go get it.
Yes.
It's basic
your
ball
Tony
skills.
And they're not going to give up on Tony, everybody. He's going to screw up every game from now to the end of time. They don't care. Because if he returns a punt for a touchdown or reverse for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, it's going to all be worth it. They're going to hang with this guy. They don't got anybody else like this guy at receiver. So that's going to happen, and that's an issue. And Mahomes is frustrated, but he's doing a good job of hanging in there. And there's Tony, just you could see, takes his eye off the ball. He's worried about running, making a play after the catch, right? But there's still as much as we know that offense is not functioning the way we would like it, and they make some mistakes and do stuff like that, it's still Mahomes and the Chiefs, and you feel like they can find ways to do anything. They have a grittiness about them that's real. And then, of course, their defense and how good they are and the way they were playing. I mean, Bailey Zappi came out in this one, kind of looked good early on. But, after the first few drives, that was it. The Chiefs kind of figured out what New England was doing, and they put the clamps on. And, Zappi and the rest of the Patriots offense couldn't do crap after that.
It really is strange, though. For as much as they love Tony, they don't use him that much. He was on the field for 40% of the snaps yesterday. For the year, it had been 25%. There were some games where he was in single-digit percentage. I mean, if he's that dangerous, get him out there and use him all the time. I spoke to Mahomes after the game, and it's just I get him maybe once a year, and I kept him way too long. We talked for 10 minutes. But on the issue of the drops, and we mentioned this last night on Football Night in America, because a lot of times you hear broad comments about, we have to get better. What specifically are you going to do? What do you do to help guys learn to hold on to the football? And he said, before or after every practice, it'll be extra throws from me, the other quarterbacks, jugs machines.
Yeah.
And then it's about confidence. I've seen these guys make great catches. I've seen them
they
make
can
some
do
of the
it.
great catches I've ever seen.
Right.
You just have to believe in yourself. And I don't know how you get someone to the point where they believe in themselves in that moment. It gets in your head. How do you get it out of your head? It becomes a mental block. It becomes something that you're too conscious of. We see guys try to turn up field before they've looked the ball all the way in. That's not what these guys, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to make it not a thing.
Right.
But still, to go into New England and win yesterday. I also spent some time talking to him about what Bill Belichick does to try to fool them. He said they always look the same on defense. Mm-hmm. You can't disguise, you can't diagnose before the snap what's coming.
Right.
They've disguised whatever they're going to do. They've got guys who can play different positions. They move all over the place, and they really do try to fool them. And he said they got me a few times.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things he's trying to do is get to the point where he's like a Tom Brady and that he knows what's coming. He can see it. He can sense it. Even if they've got it disguised, he knows. He just knows there's some little thing that tells him where they're going to move when the play starts. And he'll get there.
He will. We're seeing it.
He's 28. By the time he gets into his mid to early 30s, that range, the brain and the body will be at a point where he'll be even better than he is now, if that's even possible.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that. And, he's close to, being that kind of guy. His only problem is he's so freaking talented that sometimes he might leave a completion or something surgical on the field because he goes, wait, we're a little we're stalling out here a little bit. Yeah, there's a guy open underneath for 6 or 7 yards, but we haven't moved the ball the last few drives, so let me try to hit one for 30 right here. And that's where he gets himself in trouble. And he's done that a little bit this year. But I think in the long run, he'll play the game the way he's supposed to play. And the Chiefs, of course, are still dangerous and still one of the best teams in the AFC with that defense, with him. Pacheco back healthy when he gets back out there. We know the Chiefs are going to be a major player in the AFC when all's said and done.
All right, give me another one.
I'm going to go to the Audubon Society on this one. I got to. The bird killers right now. The 49ers. It's 4 games in a row. They've just killed birds, all right? I mean, we went Seahawks, Eagles, Seahawks, Cardinals, and they got the Ravens this week. So, I mean, we got to continue to keep the Audubon Society's number alive here for the inhumane treatment of birds here by the San Francisco 49ers. Poor little Tweety Cardinal, he's dead today, okay? That's not cool. But, I mean, it's nothing new that we're going to be saying here. Hey, Cardinals offense came out firing, all that, but I mean, damn, there's Deebo Samuel wide open because of a great play call and designed by Shanahan. You know, Cardinals defense moved the ball the first drive. Looked like they were moving the ball again. Then Charvarius Ward does a great job of kind of reading Kyler Murray's eyes. Pick 6, 14-7, right? And usually when the 49ers start to get a touchdown lead or go up by more than that, you start to go, well, this is the kind of game they want to play. You know, here's Brock Purdy. What a great play. What a cool play altogether as far as getting McCaffrey open down the field. And he was wide open, but Brock Purdy did a good job of buying some time to make sure he could hit him. But I think it's the same thing we continue to say about the 49ers. It's all systems go. They look great at everything. Their defense wasn't at its best yesterday, right? But Kyler Murray, the way they ran the ball well. They do it. Trey McBride, that damn tight end. And here's the other thing. The 49ers had no Hargrave yesterday, no Eric Armstead. So I think that hurt their defense. But damn, Shanahan, that offense, McCaffrey, I mean, almost 200 total yards of offense once again. I know I like watching Cleveland, but San Francisco is the most fun watching football because of those weapons on offense.
They've won 6 games in a row.
Yep.
They've won each one by at least 12 points. Back-to-back division titles for the first time since 2011-2012.
Right.
2012 is the last year they went to the Super Bowl.
Officially the overall Nets points leader in the NFL, right? You look at that after yesterday.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And just everything about it, catching the Dolphins' offense systematically. We were talking about that before the show, getting closer and closer to the
now
Dolphins'
they're like 10
offense.
yards behind the Dolphins' offense.
Wouldn't Dolphins 49ers be a hell of a Super Bowl? I don't think the Dolphins can get there, but that would be a hell of a Super Bowl.
Oh, it really would be.
McDaniel and Shanahan.
Oh, definitely. You know, and 2 whiz kids, right? And you know that's one of those where it's
it
like,
wouldn't be a hell of a Super Bowl. It would be like Super Bowl 19.
You think it would?
Yeah, it would
the
be
49ers
the same thing.
will
Yeah,
whoop
49ers
them that way.
The 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. The rest of it's just details, unless they fall off again with injuries. They have another game like the Browns where, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey. And that could happen.
Yeah.
Or, Brock Purdy gets hit by Hassan Reddick.
No, it feels inevitable. I think we said last week, it feels like the 80s or 90s again. It feels like it's the 84 Niners, the 85 Bears, the 86 Giants, the 89 Niners, right? The 92 Cowboys, 93 Cowboys, the 94 Niners, the 96 Packers, where you just kind of like, about week 12 of all those seasons, I can remember being a kid going, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, it's just like you said, as long as they stay healthy, they're going to the Super Bowl. They just look like they are in a class of their own. And nobody, when they play at their best, looks like the 49ers. And I think a lot of people see that with the eye test.
I wish there was one more in that class.
I know.
The gap between them and number 2.
I know.
Right now it's 49ers Ravens, and I would expect the 49ers to beat the Ravens by at least 10 points if they played right now.
Wow. Yeah. I think so too. And I'm not even ready to say the Ravens. I think in a 1-game playoff scenario, like 1 game win it out, I think it might be the Chiefs. That's where I get back into that conversation.
I don't know what the opening line is, but next Monday night the Ravens and the 49ers get together. 10? How about 9.5?
I don't think it'll be that much. I think it'll be like 4.
Can we
4.5?
We'll find.
Niners.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.